name is Cash, and you're watching Cashed Out Cars. Welcome back to another project on my DR350SE. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the whole process of retrofitting a new style LED light into this kind of bike. So let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to go ahead and do here is get this bodywork out of the way. To do this on one of these DR350s, all you have is 3 screws that hold this cowl on there, and then that'll give us access to the light. Next up, we could go ahead and remove the bracket that holds the light on. On this bike, there are 2 screws on each side, and that'll allow this whole bracket to come off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. On my bike, it's a 10mm. And these fasteners are on a rubber bushing there to help prevent the light from really rattling around too much. And it helps keep the light more secure and also prevents it from breaking. Alright, and now the light is off. Now we could go ahead and unplug it on the back there, basically get that connector off, and then we'll be ready to plug in the new light. This thing, if I remember correctly, just pulls off. There we go. There's the old light off of the bike. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the light that I'm putting in this bike. This is a LED light that I got off of eBay, but you could also get them from Amazon. I'll have these linked down in the description below with a couple different kinds. If you buy through those links, it does also support the channel, so I'd really appreciate if you did that. It'll get you a decent light and also support the channel a little bit. But anyway, here it is. This has a high beam, a low beam, and a daytime running light. The low beam is those 3 lights in the center. The high beam is the 3 lights in the center with those 8 additional lights. And the daytime running lights are those strips on the side. Now, I'm not sure if I want to hook up those daytime running lights yet, but I'm going to mess around with this and see what I want to hook up on this bike and also see how bright this light is. Also, it does come with another connector if you need to use a spade style connector like that versus the standard style that comes on the light. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and see how bright it is, and then we'll figure out how I want to rig it up on the bike. That plugged in super easy there. I'm just going to prop this up, and now we could experiment and really see how good this light is. Alright, I'm switching the key on. Wow, that's really bright. Alright, so the high beams are currently on. That thing is extremely bright. This is the low beam. Yeah, even the low beam's very bright. So this light is pretty impressive. It's very, very bright for the price. This thing was only about $29. And I am amazed by the light output. Now, another thing to note is since these are LEDs, this will actually draw a lot less power than a standard bulb like what was in here. So you'll use less power and have a brighter light, so this is a really good upgrade to do. Also, if you're running other things off of your electrical system in addition to lights, doing something like this is a really good modification to allow your bike to use that power elsewhere rather than just pour it into a light that draws way too much power. Alright, so up until this point, everything's been super easy. I'm very impressed with the light output from this thing. It's extremely bright, and I really like the pure white versus the more orangey tinted light that comes out of the original bulb here. Now, the trickier part of this installation is going to be actually mounting this light onto the bike, because this isn't a direct fit bulb, it's basically a generic bulb, and this has this housing here that has that ring which the adjusters bolt to, and also that light mount. So I'm going to go ahead and take that ring off by disconnecting that adjuster and that mounting point, and then try to figure out how I want to fabricate up a bracket to use this light with that original housing there. Alright, so this little bracket here is what I came up with to mount this thing. These two holes there line up with the mounting holes in the back of the light. That's just the stock mounting position on this aftermarket light there. And I welded that little tab on there, so once that sits on there, the original hoop from the other light could slide right over like this. That bolt right there goes through that little tab, and then the light is secured. Now, I was going to go ahead and make all the adjusters on there and make tabs for those too, but that's going to be a lot of work, so instead what I'm going to do is put some high-density foam down there between the light housing and that hoop and just see how everything works out. Obviously, I got to make sure that the light isn't going to get too hot and melt that foam, but that is the easiest way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and try that, and then I'll show you the final product. Alright, so here is the light on the bracket. This is going to be the final design here. As you could see, I shoved a bunch of foam in here. And when I say final design, I mean I'm going to test it like this and make sure I want to keep this light. And if I do, I'll probably make another bracket like this that comes out of here and then just drill a hole in this loop there. But this is the quick solution to see if I want to actually keep this light in the bike. I probably will, but this sort of bracket right there is very sturdy and works pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead, throw this back in the bike, and then later when it gets dark, I'll test this thing out and see how it works. Alright, it's on there. Alright, now for the moment I've been waiting for. Let's take this protective plastic off. And there we go, guys. It's way brighter out right now than it was when I filmed the initial light here. But just so you could see how bright this is the low beam, and then I'm going to switch it over to the high beam. And that high beam puts out an absolute ton of light. And this is so much brighter than that other bulb. Like, if I look at this light too long, it is just extremely bright. It'll give you a headache. The other bulb was fairly bright, but it's not even close to this. So guys, that is going to wrap up this video. These modern style LED lights give you way more light output for really not a lot of money. Like I said, if you're interested in picking up one of these bulbs, I have links in the description down below. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please feel free to once again leave them below. And I hope you subscribe and stick around for the next one. Take care.